Hello, 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 everyone. All right. So, hi. It is cold. To me, it's 52 degrees, but it's cold to me. Got my hat, scarf, my wool coat. Yeah, long sleeves. Yeah, it's real. But I wanted to come on tonight. I don't know if you got an opportunity to see the video from last night's The Sex Show in Charlotte. The SEX, the Sexual Erotic Expression Show. It was the 1-year anniversary. Shouts out to my brother Israel the Poet. He definitely has been holding it down for an entire year, you know, in the Charlotte area, but also in Baltimore and expanding to Atlanta. He's doing something really special and unique with bringing the whole idea of BDSM to the forefront, giving people information that they can use in order to be successful in the whole idea of BDSM. And I love hitting the stage with him. I love the opportunity to come out and teach. So last night, we were pressed a little bit for time. So I just threw out this suggestion because some of the other young ladies who are having a demonstration wanted me to sort of coach them through one of them. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, when it comes to giving head, I am the mistress of it, the queen don of head. So I have no problems with demonstrating on how to orally please one's man, right? But I also had another 15-minute segment on that I was going to do about self-love. So I decided to combine the two so that we can sort of get through the time a little bit more quicker. So what we did was I got on stage, and if you saw the video, make sure you check it out on my YouTube channel, but it's also here on my Facebook channel, so you can kind of watch it. No lies. The mouth game is amazing. But so I went to go give my spiel on self-love and the 3 things that it took for a person to get self-love. And it was, you know, be honest with yourself. Number 1 was be honest with yourself and others at all times. And we as women, and even men in relationships, we tend to not be completely honest with our needs, our wants, our desires, what we truly want out of a relationship. And we tend to hold back out of fear of being judged, or out of fear of somebody else, you know, falling into what we don't want to know. So I went and I said, the first thing you need to do is you need to be honest. Like, if you are into giving head in the VIP, then you need to be honest and say, look, I'm down for that, or I'm not down for that. And number 2 was set boundaries, and no means no. Like, you don't have to have sex just because somebody spent $400 on a meal and some movie tickets, that you have to, or you're obliged to have sex with them because they spent a certain amount of capital. You don't have to have sex with a person just because they got potential. You don't have to be in a relationship with somebody who's not bringing everything that you desire to the table. Like, you can say no. You can say no. No is not a 4-letter word. And then the other thing was, the last thing, number 3, was just to relax. You know, be good. Don't be so hard on yourself. Like, you know, a lot of the life changes that we make in our 30s and 40s, we have to understand that we've been living these lives for decades. We've been living these toxic relationships and toxic lifestyles for so long that it's not going to be an overnight thing where you'll just be able to change it. It's going to take time. So don't be so hard on yourself when the changes don't come as quickly as you think that they should. So that was my spiel on self-love at the sex show last night. again. But when I started to talk about and give the tutorial on how to give head, oh my goodness, the crowd went wild. It was really something that I wanted to talk about today, just briefly, on how much love I got from telling a woman, instead of getting on your knees and begging, so to speak. You don't have to get on your knees to suck a dick. You don't have to get on your knees and beg a man to put his penis in your mouth. What you want to do is put yourself in a position of power, and you want to squat down. You want to squat down so that you can have an open vagina, and you can allow the airflow to flow through your vagina walls. And when you exchange the air from the motion of sucking, you bring that air in, you begin to travel, down your core, and you allow that energy to flow through your vagina. And then it was more of what we've been seeing from Jill Scott videos, but I like to reference Corinne Steffens, because she was the really, she wasn't the inventor of the two-hand technique, but to me, she's the one that I feel like really utilizes the two-hand technique to its fullest, because she was in an abusive relationship where she had to suck a dick for hours, 3-4 hours at a time, straight, nonstop. She had to create a technique where she can get her man to orgasm and climax quickly, so that she wouldn't be down there sucking dick for 4 or 5 hours. So her two-hand technique, I think, with the alternating rotation, just creates a different level of intimacy. So I always credit Corinne Steffens, Superhead, with that technique. And then we talked about the deep throat and how important the deep throat is, and how important the gag is, and what that means to gag, and how, hey boo, how you doing? And how important the gag is in incorporating saliva and spit, and how important the spit is, and how important the sound effect of the spit is. And a lot of people, like I said again, the crowd went wild. Like, Nikeema, you killed it, you killed it, you killed it. And it was like, yeah, I killed it, absolutely. And all right, Lucien, I'm gonna bring you on, but I need to get this thought out first before you start chatting, okay? So just hold on when you come on, all right, buddy? But anyway, so what ends up happening is, or what ends up transpiring, is that people lose, in my opinion, they lose the full essence of sexuality and sex. Is that we want to do this physical thing, and I think the physical sex is easy. Physical sex, I think, is secondary to the mental, spiritual, and emotional aspect of sex. Like, I think that sex is a physical manifestation of what's going on inside. And I told the ladies last night, like, you can't make love with a broken heart. So many of us are laying down and laying underneath people that we don't care too much about, that we have no intense emotional connection with, but we're physically attracted to them. We have a lust mentality, and we're missing the true essence of sex and sexuality. And I wanted to just, impact you today, this evening, whenever you watch this. I want to empower you to understand that you don't have to settle for whack sex. You don't have to settle for just the physical enjoyment. That you can and you should try to incorporate mental, spiritual, and emotional connection within your sexual relationships. Like, it's more than just getting a nut. It's so much more than just, somebody coming. And a lot of the time, sex is really culminated and ends when the man has an orgasm, or he has an ejaculation. And we as women, we're usually put on the back burner. We usually get the sloppy seconds or the hand job to kind of help us finish, even if they help us finish. A lot of times they don't help us finish. A lot of times men will just come, ejaculate, and then it's over. Like, he's tired and exhausted, and you're looking, you're laying next to him like, man, could you, what about me? And a lot of times when you don't have that spiritual connection with your partner, you feel unfulfilled. And because you got this feeling of unfulfillment after having physical sex, you feel disappointed. You feel frustrated. You feel like, that person's not there for you. So what tends to happen is you tend to try to find somebody who you are spiritually connected to, who you do have an emotional connection to, and then that person quote unquote sexually satisfies you. And the thing is that they're not physically satisfying you. They're feeling a different void that's happening. They're feeling the emotional void. They're feeling the spiritual void. They're feeling the psychological void. They're giving you fullness from a cellular level, from an intimate level, from an inside level, versus physically outside giving you the dick, so to speak, right? They're not just giving you the dick, they're giving you themselves. You feel complete, you feel connected. And when you can get that part of sex going for you, then you tend to have a more satisfying sexual experience. So I want to encourage you all who are watching this to look for more than just the physical aspects of sex. There's nothing wrong with being lustful. It's nothing wrong with, having a big dick or a fat ass, or, having somebody eat you out and all of these other things that we happen to have. But what I want to encourage you is to take it one step further, is to mature in your sexual appetite. A lot of times we have been taught what sex is and what sex looks like through porn. And porn tells us, the man comes in, he might eat you out. He might lick you. He might, kiss you. He might do some other things to get you emotionally, physically aroused. Then he sticks it in. He strokes a couple times, flips you over here and there, holds you up against the wall, puts your legs behind your head and bends you up like a pretzel, and slaps you on your vagina a few times, and it's supposed to feel good to you. Well, really, you want to just be held. You want to just be looked at in your face. You just want to be deep stroked and massaged from internally. You just want to know that this person is going to be there for you. You just want to feel loved. You just want to feel appreciated. You just want to feel, one with that person. And it doesn't need to be, slap it up, flip it, rub it down. You just want to feel, loved. And sometimes we don't get that. Sometimes we feel the void and we get up from our physical sex and we're disappointed and we're full of regret and we're full of frustration, and we say, man, I could have had a V8, or I could have went and done something else. Or you get up and you go do something else. You don't sit in the intimate moment of the aftercare of sex and have emotional conversation and have connection. And it's like when we tend to, Ethan, what you say, where they at though? Where who at though? Like, what you looking for, Ethan? You looking for the woman who can be a pretzel and bend it over, bust it open? Or you looking for somebody that you can make a connection with? Explain to me what it is that you're looking for. And I think that most times we, especially as women, we tend to kill our own personal feelings for the sake of the relationship, because here it comes. We don't want to be alone. We don't want to ruin a good thing. And some of us, our self-esteem is at such a place where you don't feel good enough to get somebody better than what you have. I know, right? I know that hit home for a few folks who are going to watch this, and you're like, well, dang, Nikeema, yeah, I don't feel like I can do better. I don't feel like, I've been in and out of relationships for so many years, and I've given it a try so many times, and it didn't work out for me. And this guy, he's been in and out of my life for 10 years. He always shows up for me. He always comes around when I need him. He's always there for me. But no, he's not making a commitment to be with me. He is seeing other people, but I'm seeing other people too, but I really want to be with him, and he really loves me and I really love him, but we just can't make it work for us. And you make all of these excuses why it's okay for him to treat you less than what you deserve. You make all of these excuses of why it's okay for him to treat you less than you desire. But really, if you were honest with yourself, go back to my 3 reasons for self-love, right? Like, if you were honest with yourself and others at all times, you would be honest with yourself and say, this is not for me. This 10-year back and forth with you, this 15, 20 years back and forth with you, on and off again, it doesn't matter. And I'm not signing up for that. I don't want that in my life. And I'm going to be honest with you and say I don't want that. You're not just going to come over here, sex me, fuck me, suck me, and leave me. You know, you're not going to do that for me. I deserve better and I deserve more. But if you don't believe that for yourself, you can't say that for yourself. You know what I mean? All right, Ethan, what do you say? These emotional and spiritual women. But hey, she can bend it like a pretzel, I ain't mad. Well, you can have both, baby. You don't have to choose. There are women out there who are desperate, and I'm saying that not in a bad way, but in a good way, that there are women that are craving emotional, spiritual relationships over physical relationships. If you can touch a woman mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, she will put the excuse my language on a Sunday, she will put the pussy on a platter for you. And she will do it in such a way that it would be transformative. If you can fulfill her spiritually, if you can fulfill her emotionally, she will give you the desires of your heart. And I'm telling you, it will be such an emotion. When a woman is loved, she becomes a whole new being. She becomes a whole new thing when she's loved. And if you can find yourself in a relationship with a woman, even through her brokenness, and that's the where we are in life, is that there's so many women who have been broken, who have been mishandled and misused, that, you know, the saying that hurt people is when you are a hurt woman, you get in a relationship and you got to hurt that man that you're in a relationship with. And what ends up happening is that hurt man then finds him another woman and he hurts her. And then that woman finds her another man and hurts him. And it's a continuous cycle of hurt after hurt after hurt. But if one of you could just mature up and level up and say, you know what, I'm going to stop the cycle. I'm going to start anew and begin to heal yourself and start to love yourself, then you can get in a relationship with somebody who is doing the same. I do not advocate getting in a relationship with somebody who is broken when you are trying to heal, because it's like you trying to get off of drugs and you date a drug addict. You're never gonna get clean. You're never gonna get clean. Amen, Ethan. Amen. Praise the Lord, saints. If you continue to say, well, he's got potential or she's got potential, no. It's like a drug addict going to a crack house. You're not gonna come out safe just because you think, it's okay, I don't have to have a drink, but I'm gonna go to this all you can eat, all you can drink party. You're not going to be able to be successful. You've got to find you somebody who's doing the same level of work as you. You've got to find somebody who's putting in the work and the time to heal themselves. And then what you can do together is you guys can start the healing process together. So as you grow, they grow, and vice versa. They grow, you grow. Versus getting in a relationship with somebody who's still stuck in their foolishness, who's still stuck in the mud, so to speak. And they are not going nowhere. And they're not going to allow you to go nowhere. Because every time that you make a suggestion, you know, babe, we should meditate, or, you know, babe, we should not eat dairy and bacon, they'd be like, nah, if I'm a die of something. If, you know, meditation is hard and I don't feel like doing that, they're not going to be encouraging. And if you don't have a support system during the healing process, it makes the process almost near impossible to do if you don't have the right people around you and supporting you. That's why it's important. I am telling you right now, if you are someone who is in the healing process and you have decided for yourself that you want better for yourself, don't settle for somebody who's not trying to get the same things that you're trying to get. It is going to ruin you. It's going to destroy you. So just make sure once you start that process of, you know what, I'm going to start loving myself. I'm going to start taking care of me. I'm going to start doing what's best for me. You want to find somebody who's having that same conversation with themselves. You're like, yeah, I just changed my diet. Yeah, I just started reading more books. Yeah, I just started a new health kick. I just started to do something. You're like, oh, okay. He's working on himself. I'm working on myself. That's what you link up with. You don't link up with somebody who's still doing the same thing, who's still watching Jerry Springer. And God knows Jerry Springer got canceled 2 years ago. So he ain't watching nothing but reruns. He's still living in the past, still watching Maury, still, gossiping and talking, and he ain't doing nothing with his life. He ain't working out. He ain't trying to strive. He ain't doing no entrepreneurial. He ain't trying to climb the corporate ladder. He's just good with his 9 to 5. But the dick is good. No, sis, the dick is not good. The dick is terrible and toxic, and it's going to lead you to ruins. Don't follow that yellow brick road. I'm just trying to tell you, don't do it. So, I think which Melissa say, potential disasters when broken people try to. Yeah, it's always a disaster. It's not potential disaster, sis. It's always going to end in disaster, because broke people break people, and it is their job. It is their thing to do in life. Self-sabotage is real. It is a real thing, and people will set you up for the beat down. People will take from you, and they will siphon from you all the life that they can get, and when there's no more life left in you, they will leave you on the side of the road, and they will go and they will take their predatory attitudes to the next person, and we will move on in life that way. So you've got to make sure you're protecting who you are, especially if you've decided to make a difference in your life, especially if you've decided to change. If you just say, I'm going to take care of me, I'm going to be honest with myself and others at all times. Hey, Omari. I'm going to be honest with myself and others at all times. And then you say, you know what? I'm going to set boundaries. No more fuck boys, as the world would say. No more trash women. I'm going to go after what I know I deserve. I deserve not just a wholesome woman from a perspective of she's a virgin or she don't drink or anything like that, or she's sold out for Jesus, but just someone who cares enough about themselves that they're going to give themselves the best. And then, you understand that you're not going to be, absolutely sold out for anything, that you're going to give yourself your best. Like you said, you know what, I'm going to take my time. I know that good things come to those who wait, right? It also says that the patience is a virtue, and everything that we want in life, they said the good, it takes a while for good things to come. And once you understand that anything good is going to take time, so take the time, take the time to work on you. And then surround yourself with people who are working on themselves. And I'm telling you, you'll find somebody who speaks your language, who's speaking to you and says, you know what, I'm down. And that's what I loved about my husband, and what attracted me to him is that he had already put in 2-3 years worth of work on himself. So by the time I showed up, I was like, yes, you are speaking and singing my language. I understand when you talk about Eric Thomas. I've met Eric Thomas. I've met, Tony Robbins. So he was like, yeah, Tony Robbins said this, and Eric Thomas says that, and Jim Rohn says this, and I'm like, oh, you know, oh, you sold out. Absolutely. So when I was able to have that conversation with him, we synced, and it just made sense. Now, had I hooked up with somebody who was still just trying to be carnal and just trying to, get the good Dr. Nikeema Lee, just trying to get me from a physical perspective, oh, big booty and she sucked dick, like, I want to hang out with her, versus, I've got to follow up with you. You're not consistent. You have no intentions. You want to be a side piece for the rest of your life. Like that's not my language. So when I met my husband, he told me from day 4, like, I don't want a girlfriend. I'm looking for a wife, and I love you. Like, what do you mean you love me? I just met you. Nah, I understand what you're saying about life. I understand where you're going. I understand what you're doing. And 30 days in, he was like, nah, I'm locked in. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. This is our 2-year plan. Do you want to get on board? I was like, absolutely. I want to get on board. Let's get on board. Because I'm not here for play. I got too much going on for me to just be hanging out and being your girlfriend and Netflix and chilling. over here giving wifey duties to somebody who has no intentions on wifing me. So those conversations were real, and they were honest, and they were upfront from the beginning. And to be able to have those conversations led to so many more deeper conversations. So 30 days into meeting you, we're married. We're in this thing. And no desires to look back. But when you know, and you're a healed person, you can pull that strength from a place where you couldn't when you were broken. You can't see the potential. You can't see the truth when you're broken, because the pain of the break is so real. It blocks you from seeing what is right in front of you. It blocks you from the reality. And broken people, it's so much easier to go for the immediate relief of the pain versus the long-term work of the relationship. And relationships take work. They take time. They take consistency. They take consistently showing up for yourself in the relationship, consistently bearing your soul, consistently, trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing until you figure this thing out. And I understand it's going to take 20, 40, 50 years for us to gel and to sink, and there's going to be ups and downs and trials and tribulations, and it's not going to be perfect. And this is what I tell a lot of my young couples who've only been married less than 5 years. Like, you trying to have a perfect 20-year marriage on year 2. Stop being so hard on yourself. You're not going to be the perfect wife. You're not going to be the perfect husband. You're not going to be you're not going to get everything right. You're not going to say the right things all the time. So relax. Just go with the flow. Do what you know is right. Do what you know is true. Be honest. Be upfront. Communicate. Talk. Bear your soul. What are you hiding from? Why are you not being honest and upfront with your partner? These are small little things as you start to develop in the relationship that will take you to the next level. So Omari, he says, I've never been in love. Does it really exist? Yes, love exists. But guess where love starts, though? Love starts from here. Love starts with you. And that's how you know, that's how I know you, when you say you've never been in love, that's how I know you don't love yourself. Because if you design your life so that you love you, then you can know what love is, right? And it's and when you decide that you're going to love yourself, you're going to give yourself this opportunity to be you. And I feel like you are. I can love more than one. Right. But again, you can love 20 women and have 15 wives. But if you don't love you, I need to make that point very clear. There has to be a space of self-love in order for you to experience it, because you can't give what you don't have. You can't love 20 women. You can't love 10 wives if you don't first love who you are and who you are becoming. The prince of a nation, the king of a nation, the emperor of a nation. Outside of that moniker and that title, do you care enough about yourself? You love me some. Well, if you never experience, I'm just using your words, right? And the true test of a person is by the words that they use. The true measure of a person is by the words that they use. Your words was, I've never been in love before. So if you've never been in love of self, then if you've never been in love with yourself, then you've never experienced love. So therefore you can't come back to me and say, well, I love me some you. You don't love you if you've never experienced love, because love starts at home. You see where I'm going with this thing? We always look for love from an outside source. We look for love in other people and things. But the truth is love, it starts from within. Love starts at home. So you can't give what you don't have. And that's why you don't have, I know, right? That's why you don't find love in other women and other people. It's because there's no love within yourself. So what you have, it may be a self-centered love, but it's all surface. It's all intellectual love. There's no emotional connection to yourself. to who you really want to be. There's no, I wake up every morning and I love being me, and I'm going to do all the things that are best related for me. And it's not just a physical do, but it's an emotional do. I'm going to love me. I love me. And are you dead inside? It's okay if you're dead inside. But I want this not just to be for Omari, but for anybody else who may be listening and saying, I've never been in love. I want you to stop looking for love from other people. Stop looking. Y'all got me hot. Stop looking for love in the face of everybody else. Like, stop looking for that woman or that man who's gonna come and love you. Like, you can't give what you don't have. You know what I'm saying? You've got to be able to understand that this love has got to come from within. You've got to be the source. You've got to be the source of your own love. You've got to show up for yourself. And if you can say, Omari, I'm just going to say it one more time. If you can say, like, if what's within you that says the mouth speaks what the heart holds. If it's in your heart to speak the words, I've never been in love, then I can come back and say, you've never loved yourself. Because the experience of love, the truth of love, the emotional connection of love, you'll feel it within yourself, so you can identify it when you see it in somebody else. Be like, aha, that's it right there. That matches the thing that I know love to be. And I want to encourage you, Omari, to go to the 5lovelanguages.com and take the quiz. Take the love language quiz. Take the love language quiz, find out what your love language is, right? And this will help you to identify the conversation of love. And then you can start to speak love to yourself, whatever your love language is, whether that's words of affirmation or quality time or gifts or acts of service. You'll find out what your love language is, and then what truly will happen is that when you start to speak love to yourself, then you'll start to hear it from other people. But again, it's going to start with you. It's going to start with you. Oh, thank you, sweetie. I'd love it too. Hey, Tamara. It's good to see you last night too. She says, when I truly loved me, I was losing everything I thought. Fear made me turn back. And see, fear, again, we're back at that fear. And I did the thing a couple days ago. Yes, you need to get back and look at my results. Absolutely. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is your thoughts in your mind that's saying, I was losing everything. But truth was, you were losing things that were no longer good for you. And because those things were no longer good for you and they were falling away, fear told you, oh, you got to stop what you're doing. Hold on to this thing. When really those things were no longer good for you. They were no longer serving you, and it was time for you to let them go. And a lot of times when God is working in our lives, He's pruning us. He's cutting away those fruits. Even though they're producing fruits, there's something. Sometimes we've got to be pruned. Sometimes we've got to cut away at some things in our lives in order to make room for better, make room for more. But fear will have you, again, feeling that sense of loss, feeling like, something is happening and I've got to stop. And what you do is you go back to the thing that God was trying to take out of your life. And then it takes longer and longer and longer for you to get the results that you were actually going to get moments before you decided to turn back. So I want to encourage you, sis, absolutely, to go back to really understanding who you are, loving yourself, being true to who you are, because you can't love your husband if you can't love yourself. You might have a lot of love to give, Omari, but do you have a lot of love? Do you have a lot of love? Like, you might have, like, the love you get. Like, I'm personally going to say this out loud, like, just for the very minute text, chat conversation that's happened between us. I don't have I would love to sit down and get a session with you just to get a little bit more information. I love you too. But just based off of the small amount of information that I have, I wouldn't want love from you. Because if you don't love yourself, what are you actually giving me? It's going to be toxic. It's not going to be good for me. It's not going to be beneficial for me. It's going to hurt me. It's going to take things away from me. It's going to deny me. And I don't want that. And I don't want you to give love to nobody else until you discover it for yourself, because you're one of those. And again, very little information that I have, and I'm not just pinpointing it to you, but this conversation is, I think it's important for everybody else that might be reading it, is that if you don't have love for yourself, you are amongst the ones that are going to be in search of love. So you're a hurt individual or a voided individual who's going to void the next person that they come encounter with. Everything that you are, you're going to project on other people in other relationships. So I caution you, when you say you've got a lot of love to give and you can love more than one woman, what are you loving them with? What are you giving them if you don't possess love for yourself? And you say, I've got a lot of love for myself. If I don't love myself, who's going to love me? But again, I can only use the words that you use that come from your heart, which is, I've never been in love before. So if you've never experienced something, how is it that you can give it? Does that make sense? You can't give what you don't have. I can't give you $1 million if I don't have $1 million in the bank. I can give you what I have. I can exchange with you $1 for $1, because I know what $1 looks like. I know the value of $1. I know where to go get $1. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where to go get $1 million. So I've got to get around millionaires so that they can show me and I can understand what $1 million in the bank looks like, $1 million in a safe looks like. You know what I'm saying? Even from that perspective, like, you've got to be able to line up with it, what you want to give. You've got to have it. You've got to possess it. And right now, you don't have love within yourself to possess, because you don't know how to identify it. Because you, in your own statement, says, I've never been in love. Am I making sense to everybody? I hope that makes sense. What do you say? The circumstances of my life, being locked up, etc., and business. No time for that. It's time. It's timing with me, babe. Again, I feel like a session is needed, because there's so much right there in that little sentence. The circumstances of my life being locked up, like that right there. What you had to do mentally, emotionally, spiritually to survive incarceration has set you up for where you are right now. And I want to be like, come out, come out, little boy. I want to say, come out, little boy, come out. And I want to hug you. And I want to tell you, I want to tell that little boy that's within you that, it's going to be all right. And I want to tell him that, I know you've been through a lot. I know you've been worn down by the system. I know that you feel like nobody loves you, nobody cares about you, but that's not the truth anymore. Like, don't let the fear of the outside world, don't let the punishment of the past prevail you from, getting the love that you deserve and you desire. Like, I want to tell you that. I want to tell that little boy that's within you to say, it's okay. It's okay to get up. It's okay to try again. It's okay to get out there. It's okay to come in from the cold. It's okay to live again. You have the right. You have permission. It's okay. I just want to tell you that, like, as you continue to and just in that small sentence, to know that there's so much out there for you, and when you allow that little boy to feel love again, there's a Bible verse in Mark 5, Mark 5, 42 or something like that. And it talks about the little girl and the woman with the issue of blood. And it talks about the little girl that Jesus went to save. And Jesus told him, like, she's not dead, he's yet sleeping. Jesus went into the room. He only took his most trusted disciples, the mom and the dad, and said, get up, little girl. And in truth, it's the little people in us, the little hurt little girl, the little hurt little boy that we're protecting when we put up our walls and our barriers throughout our lives, and we don't let the emotional rawness of love within, because we have been so hurt and so damaged through life and through the system, especially from an African American perspective. We have suffered post-traumatic stress disorder from birth. We have it in our DNA that we're going to be snatched from our parents, that we are going to be mistreated. Like, that stuff is in our DNA. So every time we are encountered with stressors and stress relievers, we don't know how to handle it. We handle it with damaging foods and drugs and alcohol and sex, and we don't allow ourselves as a community to deal with our mental thoughts. And I don't want to use the word mental illness, because we don't have an illness, we just have a condition in which we need to survive. Like that's our in our DNA to survive. We've gotten that from our ancestors coming over on the boat, our ancestors being captured in the middle of Africa and being walked to the coastline. We are survivors, and it's in our DNA. And as long as, you know, our ancestors lives within us and has given us that genetic code to survive, we are going to, again, brother, to have to go into incarceration, and the amount of work it takes for you to have to compartmentalize life every single day, knowing that at any moment something can happen to you. Some other brother can come and take what you know, what's not his. Okay, Ma, love you too. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Come back and watch the rest of this, and maybe I'll drop another nugget for you. But yeah, so just to be able to understand that we have it in our DNA to survive. Like we are so in tune and so programmed to make it, you know, that we tend to let go and shave off some things that are like essentially important, like love, like compassion, like empathy, like sympathy, and we just tend to just let it go and tend not for it to be important. Like it's okay for us not to love. It's okay for fathers not to hug their sons. When it's not okay, men should be able to express themselves in love as well. You should be okay to be able to hug your father and tell your father you love him. But we've been so programmed to think that that's not true. So I want to go back to a comment Tamara said. I don't want finding me to cause others to be lost. It's going to happen though. You have to prepare yourself. Like, the tree doesn't want to be pruned. It doesn't. You don't want to have to prune the tree. You don't want to have to cut the grass. The grass doesn't want to be cut down. But it has to be. In order for you to grow, in order for you to grow properly, in order for you to grow fuller, in order for you to grow more, in order for you to have more and be more and become more, you've got to cut away things that you feel. And I think this is where trust comes in. Because you feel that it's important to you. You feel that it's a part of who you are. But God is telling you that you can do without this. Where I'm taking you, this can't go with you. And when you can trust God, and you can trust God without shame and blame, and to say, no, I need this. This is a part of who I am. But God is saying to you, in order for you to go where I need you to go, you got to put this thing down. You've got to take this out of your life. You've got to cut this thing away. You've got to trust God. You've got to, and if you don't believe in God, you've got to trust that the universe has your back. You've got to trust that the universe knows what's right for you. He sees way ahead of where you're trying to go. And the thing that you prayed and cried for 5-10 years ago, that you're trying to get to, where your person is supposed to be in 15 years. In order for you to get to that space where other people can come to you to get the answer, you've got to go through this valley. You've got to go through this pruning. And even though it seems hard and tough, and it seems unpredictable, and it seems unfair, that is for my good. So the switch in the vernacular, the switch in the conversation, Tamara, is not, I don't want to find me because others might be lost. We're going to change that to, I look forward to finding me, and I know that everything that passes from me is no longer serving me. I know that I'm going through this for my good. I know that everything that's going to come out of this is going to be for my good. So even in the midst of losing something, when we feel that we've lost something, it's going to be for your good. It's not for your detriment. And when you can change the perspective of saying I've lost to saying I'm gaining, in this removal, I'm gaining. in this takeaway, I'm gaining. And if you look at it that way and in that perspective, it doesn't feel bad anymore. It doesn't feel, it's going to hurt. Don't get me wrong. It's going to hurt because trust takes courage. It takes courage to trust in the midst of when things just ain't right, when it just seems like everybody that you loved, everybody that you care for, everybody that you thought was going to be there for you, then they stop showing up. They're not there for you. They don't know what's going on with you. They're arguing with you. They're pushing you back. They're calling you names. They're ridiculing you. They're giving you all of these things. And that's what I just said. It's easier said than done. Like, I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. To be pruned takes courage. It takes courage to show up every day in the midst of the foolishness. When God is really working on you, He got you on the threshing floor. He is whipping your back. He is putting the pressure on you. But listen, diamonds don't turn into diamonds idly. It's going to take pressure. But when you believe that you can't break, though, when you sit in the truth of knowing that you know that you know that you know that you know, and sometimes we don't have enough faith. We don't believe enough, right? We don't have enough faith that in the midst of the storm that I will be okay. In the midst of this pressure, I will be okay. I know this thing hurts. I understand it. That I feel like crying. I'm crying right now. This thing is not going to work for me. It's all falling apart. Everything is just falling out of the sky. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to turn, but I just have to stay faithful, and I have to stay focused, and I have to stay the course, and I have to keep taking one step at a time. It is tough. It is tough when it's easy to go out here and make a couple extra dollars doing something strange for some change. It's easy to go out here and ride up under somebody to get a couple $100 for the rent. When it's strange when I tell you, I have been there, sis, pruning when all the bills are due. You say, I believe in God that something's going to come my way, and I will be prepared to receive it. And I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it. When the people who you loved and you trusted and you knew was good for you, and you said, this is my ride or die, and they stopped riding for you. They stopped showing up for you, and you out here on a limb by yourself. Who do you trust? Who do you believe in? And when you think of God as being this thing or this entity that's out there, that it's like I'm in the present. I remember having a conversation with God and saying, I need something tangible. Screw this spiritual foolishness. You out here in the ether and you're in the sunlight, and like, no, I need something I can hold on to because I'm dying right now. I need a life raft. I need a ring because I'm drowning, and everybody in these boats circling around me, not seeing that I'm drowning. Nobody understands what I'm going through. Nobody understands how deep this water is. Everybody thinks that I'm doing well, but I'm not. This is real life. God, I need your help. And you have those conversations, but you say, you know what? I trust you. I trust you because you said you would not leave me nor forsake me. And you haven't brought me this far, because if I look back over my life and I think about the things that you actually brought me through, even though I'm in the deep end of the ocean right now, I remember when I was in the deep end of the mud, where I was really drowning. I couldn't move at all. And I thought that the lions, tigers, and bears was coming to eat me, and they didn't. I made it out of that. I made it through that. I'm making it through this. And when you do that, and when you make it through that, and you begin to say, you know what? If I can make it through that, I can make it one more day through this. I can make it one more second through this. And sometimes what seems so overwhelming is because we try to quantify the get over in the journey, in the destination. Oh, I'm so far away from this thing that I want. But you know what? I want you to celebrate the one step that you took today. Celebrate the one motion you got out of bed. You brushed your teeth. I remember going through depression and staying in the bed for 3 days. No teeth brushing, no ass washing, no nothing. Just straight in here like, I ain't doing this. Fuck this. Fuck you. Fuck everybody. I ain't doing this shit. This shit is hard. I don't want to do this no freaking more. But it's the moment I decided to turn and put my feet on the ground. You gotta say thank you for that. When you decide to brush your teeth, you gotta say thank you for that. Small victories, small. Just take a small step. And nobody's asking you to take the big journey. Like, I need $1,000 to pay this rent. I need, $400 to do this, or I need $100,000 to do that. And you're like, that is so astronomical. I need 75 people to show up for an event, right? How do you stretch out? How do you say, God, I lay upon you right now, and I ask for you to do all things in me. And you say, I trust in you. And when you can trust in God, and truly, when you say that I'm not as strong as they think, it's not about what they think. It's about what you think. Because if you saying to yourself, I'm not as strong as I think, then you're not going to be strong. The man who says he can and the man who says he can't, they are both right. But when you say, I am strong enough to get through this, when it says be encouraged, you got to encourage yourself. That song that says encourage yourself. You got to say, you know what? I am going to make it through the day. I am going to make it through the hour. I am going to make it through right now. I'm going to do this. I got this. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to work this thing out. This thing's going to show up for me. I just know it. And you've got to keep saying that to yourself over and over and over, because the mind, that fear, that thing is strong. You've been working that muscle for a long, long time. But now you're trying to go in the opposite direction. You're trying to counterbalance that strong bicep with this weak tricep. And you like, they fight and they can't get through because that big bicep been pumping iron since you was 2 years old. So now you 42, 45, 40, whatever, and this thing is strong, but this little mini tricep is like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't think I can do it. But if you keep saying, I don't think I can do it, I don't think I can make it, I don't think I can get through, I don't think I can change, then you won't. It all starts with you. When you start to say to yourself, I can do this, I got this, I'm gonna do, and if it's nothing else but that, just keep saying, I got this, I got this, I can do this, I can do this, I got this, I got this, I can do this, I can do this, I got this, I got it, I got it, I could do it, I could do it, I could do it, I can do it, I could do it, I could do it, I could do it, I got it, I got it, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I got it, I got it, I could do this, I can do this, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it, I could do this, I can do this. And when you say that to yourself and you start to believe it, the universe will believe it for you. It will believe it for you. Survival is not the issue. It's the process that I can't see. And it's not your process to see. Again, you're trying to eat the whole elephant. Take the one bite. Nobody's asking you to see the process. The process is not even your business. The process ain't got nothing to do with you. You gotta show up. Like you trying to drive the car to Jamaica, thinking that that's the best way, and somebody trying to put you in an airplane, and you like, nah, I don't need no airplane. I ain't trying to be in no airplane. Like, nah, no. All you gotta do is show up, right? And you know that there's some things that you can't do on your own. You know that there's some things that you need, you can do if you put your mind to it, right? So the idea is, right now, we're in a battle. You and I, we're in a battle right now, because what I'm trying to do is encourage you to change your perspective. What you're telling me is all the things that you see. But what I'm telling you is you've got to believe it before you can see it. You've got to believe within yourself, believe within your mind, believe within your heart that whatever it is that you're desiring is possible. Not that it is possible, that it is. It is. Period. There is no denying it. It exists for you as of right now. It takes that level of success and faith in the process. Like, no doubt about it. I got this. No doubt about it, I'm going to get to Jamaica. No doubt about it, I'm going to love myself. No doubt about it, I'm going to feel good every day. Even in the midst of what I think is not good for me or not turning out the way that I desire, I know that it's going to be for my good. I know that it's going to be for my good. You know, we are the hardest people to take our own advice. Those who are giving this advice. We are the ones who don't listen to our own stuff. And we need people outside of ourselves to just reconfirm what we already know. Because this isn't nothing new. I'm not telling you no radical foolishness. You're like, Nikeema crazy. She talking about doing some kumbaya type stuff. Nah, I'm telling you what you already know deep down in your spirit. And the thing is that we're all connected spiritually. So the conversation that you're having is the same conversation that Shan's having. Same conversation that Michelle is having. Melissa's having. Same conversation that I'm having. We're all having the same conversation, just on different levels. And when we decide that we're going to begin to listen to ourselves, because our intuitions are our most powerful weapon against life. It's our most powerful weapon. But if you decide not to listen to it, that's like saying, I got a gun and I'm going to a gunfight, but I'm going to try to talk to you first. Even though I know you crazy, even though you already shot at me a few times, I'm going to walk into your bullet, the barrel of your gun, and try to talk to you. No, 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 no. Your intuition is saying, pull out your piece and get the shots. Get your shot off. Your intuition is saying you need to do this for you. Your intuition is saying what you're trying to hold on to is no longer serving you. Your intuition is telling you it's been time. It's been time. It's been time. It's been time. It's been time for you to be where you're supposed to be. You've been supposed to be where you're supposed to be. You've been doing it. It's way overdue. Now you getting it from another angle. You get it at a different vibe, and now it's starting to sink in. And the thing is what you do tomorrow, what you do next, what you do now. Will you change, or will you continue to stay the same? Because something's got to happen. If you continue to see life where it's at, been called, been past time. I'm telling you. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, and that in its essence, like, guys, I really wanted to I think I'm just excited that if you can show up in courage and believe in faith, that all things are possible. Even from the sexual perspective, of the reason why I started this conversation to begin with is that we tend to bypass the emotional, mental, spiritual connection within ourselves to get to the physical part, to get to the quick fix or the microwave, ness of life. And you've got to do the work. You have got to do the work. You can't bypass the work. You just cannot bypass the work. It's the one thing in life that we can't get past, and death and taxes and all of that other stuff. But the work of life, you've got to get through it. You've got to push yourself in order to be in it. So that's it, guys. I just want to thank you right now, Father, for just giving us this space, giving us this moment of encouragement, and we pray right now for our sisters and brothers who are watching this, who are going through, who are right now at that space. They're at the door, God. They're knocking, God. They're knocking, and they're seeking your face, and they're seeking the answers. And you said, if you knock and you seek, it shall be given unto you. So right now, God, pour out your blessings upon them right now, Father. May they receive it. Let their hands be open, their hearts and minds be open to receive all of your glory and all of your wisdom and all of your truth and all of your love, to know that they're not alone, to know that there's never a past time, to know that no opportunity is never missed, to say that when God's on time, he's always on time. So if the time is now, let that time be right now. Let the move of your ways and your love be so mighty right now that we shift the winds, God, right now. Shift the winds right now, so that all that hear and all that see, they believe that they can have all those things that you wish to bless them with right now. For there are other people that need them. There are folks that are waiting for them to show up at a space so that they can get the blessing, so that they can be a blessing to others, and that these healed people begin to heal the world, and we begin to heal as a family and as a community, God. And all these things we pray. Amen, amen, and amen. I love you all. I love you all. I look forward to talking with you guys again. I think that this was healthy. I think that we had a lot of breakthroughs right now, and I think that whoever's watching this will get something. Make sure you guys share this if you haven't. If it was nothing in here for you, share it. It might be something in here for somebody that you may know. We definitely share. Make sure you go to NikeemaLee.com and sign up for 100 days and 100 ways to love yourself. I want to encourage you. I love you too. I love you too. I want to encourage you to go to NikeemaLee.com and sign up for 100 days, 100 ways to love yourself. Just a small token of my gratitude of ways that you can love yourself, and share that with someone that you may know. So I look forward to it. And then get on Cyber Monday. It'll go up tonight, probably about 9 o'clock tonight. Cyber Monday will go on sale. Everything is going to be 50% off, from coaching to books and tapes and classes. Everything's 50% off, as well as the Metaphysical Orgasm in Charlotte on January 19th. So you definitely want to be a part of that. So 50% off, NikeemaLee.com, starting about 9 p.m. Eastern this Sunday night. So I look forward to loving on some of you a little bit more. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll come on tomorrow and talk a little bit about some stuff. I love you guys. Have a good night. Peace.